Hey guys, welcome back to the Forever World. Last episode, we kicked off a brand new chapter in this world with our Mediterranean starter house, but we are still cut off from civilization. Today, I would like to complete 3 main goals: re-gear ourselves with full diamond, link this new area up with the existing Nether Hub, and build our very first automatic farm in this world. Once those tasks are complete, we will be able to return to civilization. We have got a lot of work ahead of us, so let's get started. I'm thinking the first thing that we're going to do is get a nether portal up and running. So let's grab ourselves a bucket and some water, and I'm fairly certain that off in this direction I found a lava pool early on. So as long as we can find that again with our eyes and not our feet, we should be good. There it is. Now if we do something like this, and we mix the hot and the cold, we can get all the stuff we need for our portal. Alright, so this is not going to be the final resting place of our portal, but I'm thinking that we're just going to put something temporary inside the house here, and light, because like I mentioned, I want to make an auto farm in today's episode, and I also want to get my diamond gear back too. So I think we're going to do a 2-for-1. We will have to get all the bookcases to make this a level 30 enchanting station, but once we have that sorted, we're going to need quartz for observers. And I would also like to use quartz in my build as well. So my plan is to enchant up all my tools and armor as I'm mining the quartz. Is that going to be easy? That really depends on what's on the other side of this portal. No, it is not going to be easy. Am I really just in a little pocket of the nether here? Yep, there is no exit, so we're gonna block off the lava sources where we can, and I guess we'll just go off of this nylium up here and hope we're close to the surface? Yeah, we're not. This is gonna suck. Maybe what we'll do instead is we will just go straight down, and either we'll find an exit to the nether. Oh, yep. Yes, we will. That is such an inconvenient spot. Okay, I think we're gonna plug that up, and maybe we'll branch off over here. What I'm hoping for is either an easy exit to the nether where we can start walking around looking for quartz, or we get down to the optimal level for debris mining and we just kind of branch around looking for debris and quartz. Because when we get back to civilization, we do actually need some ancient debris to upgrade all our stuff. Alright, we made it down to level 15, now we just gotta go straight and hope we find some stuff. Not that stuff. There we go, there's a good amount of quartz to be found down at this level as well. Maybe we'll get lucky with some debris. If we don't, it's not the end of the world, but, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. Now we just gotta get to level 30. Oh, we got a debris. Alright, I hear ghasts. Oh, and that's a lava lake, so we're at the end of our road there. But I'm definitely hearing ghasts, so we've got to be close to the surface somewhere. Let's try going this way. We just got to get far enough away from that lava lake that I'm confident enough to go up. No time like the present. Let's see if we die. Oh, I hear pigmen. I think they're in this direction. And there's the surface. Perfect. We are in a nether waste as well. That is exactly what we need. And now the mission to not die continues. And here we are at level 30. Alright, we're back at base here, and I think the first enchant we're going to do in this new area is a pickaxe. Let's just hope for a good first. Not the best, but also not the worst. We'll just tuck this away for now. I am sensing that our diamond number is going to be a bit of a problem here, though. We may have to do a bit of mining for diamonds. But either way, we do still need some more quartz, so we're going to head back into the nether here and get a bit more. Alrighty, let's try out the pickaxe again. Ooh, Fortune 3, I like the looks of that. And that is a nice looking pickaxe. One thing's for sure, it'll definitely speed up the process of getting quartz. Now I just need to do 6 more enchantments. So this may take a few minutes. There we go, we are all enchanted up again. All of our tools have enchantments as well as our armor. Not all of them are amazing, but they'll do for now. And on top of that, we got a whole whack of quartz. Alright, 2 of our objectives have now been completed. Starter house? Check. Diamond gear? Check. Now it's time to make that auto farm. And we're going to be doing that right behind me here off the back of our starter house. This right here is going to be starting our Mediterranean village right off the back here, and I'm thinking we make a door on the 2nd level, right about here. And this door will go out into a street. And then across that street will be our building with our auto farm. And I think for the street we're just going to use a simple stone gradient. We don't want to use too many colors, otherwise things might start blending together. Ooh, we definitely don't have enough andesite for this. I guess we're heading to the mines. It's still a bit of a headbanger, but it works for now. Alright, first things first, we know that the street is going to run along the side of the house here, so let's get rid of all of our decoration on the back side. And what I'm thinking for the street is we're going to do a block of tuff, and then we're going to do some stone bricks, and then we're going to have a 3-wide road, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. So the street will be 7 wide in total. Let's just run that up this way here. So we'll wind up looking with something a little bit like this. Fill in the center with andesite. And then I'm thinking to texture this up a little bit, we can knock out some of the andesite blocks and throw in polished andesite. So we'll just do this all down the road here. And I'm thinking we can get a little bit of variation in the road here by just raising this 1 level. Get a little bit of this action going on here, and then just replicate the pattern. Now I kind of want to loop this path around and then come back this way going up on a slight incline. So let's get rid of all this garbage down here. Alrighty, coming out of the building now, this is what our road looks like. I'm sure we'll make some revisions along the way, but I think it's looking pretty good for now. Now that we got our road in place, it's time to start talking about the build. Since we used yellow and white already, I'm thinking what we're going to do is the main color of our building is going to be red terracotta, and then we're going to accent it with diorite. And then in those spots where we want it to be a little bit cleaner, quartz. Now we got lots of quartz because of what we did earlier in the episode, and we've got a good amount of red terracotta thanks to some stream mining, but we'll probably need more than that. I'm not certain about the diorite. This is a good amount, but we may collect a bit more to be safe. And then having a few variants of red would probably be nice too. Just past that jungle over there, there's a mangrove forest, so we'll probably go grab some of that, and then maybe some red concrete to go along with it as well. Alright, well we know the resources we need, we just gotta spend the time gathering them now. Alright, we got blocks in hand. It's time to start actually building this thing. So the bottom part of this building I want to make white, and I want to make it fairly open concept too, so that I can access all the resources from the auto farm. So having a few arches here I think will be nice. And I want the building to be 9 wide, so we gotta go 8 blocks deep with the diorite. And then we can just box this off and then build up the arches. Perfect, we got the base of the building in here, and this is simply where the collection system for our farm is going to be. The actual farm itself is going to be above this, and I don't exactly want to build the building before making the farm, because I've done it the other way around before, and it didn't end well. It usually ends with having to redesign the building. So I'll go ahead and get our redstone components together, and we'll make our farm. Alrighty, all of the redstone components have been made, but I do have to do a little bit of sugarcane hunting before we can start building. Because the design that we chose is one by Tango Tech, and you can't exactly build it without having the sugarcane in place first. It's not something that I can do retroactively. And I don't know how many layers of the farm we're going to make, but it never hurts to have extra. Bear says hi. Alright, let's get to building this farm here. So let's find the center right there, and we go up, and then let's say around here we'll start the farm. So like I said, this is a Tango Tech design that I'm going to be using here, and it's a pretty simple one too. I say simple, yet I forgot the most important resource. How could we forget dirt? Better question, how do we have no dirt basically? Guess I'll just skim a little from the bottom here. Let's try this again. Alright, so 8 dirt like this on both sides, and then we put water down in the center and cover it up with slabs, and then we go up 2 and we get a row of pistons going here, then an observer looking at the bottom block on both sides, and an observer looking down at that block here, and all the way across the top of the pistons, one more plank on the observers, and then redstone all down this line. Then close this off with glass, line the dirt with sugarcane, water stream down the center, and iron bars above that. And there we go. And there we go. That's one layer of the farm. Ow. Why do these pistons keep firing? See, look, nothing grew. Why did it do that? These pistons have minds of their own. That or I've made a mistake somewhere along the way. I did build this from memory, so that is very possible. Maybe I should consult the tutorial real quick, which, by the way, it will be linked in the description. Alright, according to the tutorial, I did everything correctly, so I'm just gonna assume that this works. And we will continue to build up this farm. I'm thinking about 5 or 6 layers. Alrighty, farm is in place. We decided to go with 6 levels, and it is already producing sugarcane. The pistons are still firing randomly, so I'm not sure what that's about. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. Although we do have one problem with the farm right now, and that is that we've got no catcher, so a lot of the sugarcane is just flying off the edge here. So I think at least while we're working on this, we're going to put up a glass pillar here just to keep all of the sugarcane in the building. That way we don't have to go tracking it all down. Speaking of the building, that's what's up next. I am actually really happy with how this building turned out. I think we're starting to get the hang of this color thing, but with the outside done, we've got to turn our attention to the inside, or we're going to lose a lot of sugarcane. Already in the time that I've been building this is how much sugarcane I've gotten, so we know the farm works. We just got to make ourselves a collection system. And I just got back from mining out an iron vein that I found earlier on today, so we're going to be good on the hopper front. Let's make a stack of hoppers to start out with and see how far that gets us. Now, we don't have to do anything too complicated for the collection system. I'm thinking if we just run a simple hopper line along the back wall here, then we should be in pretty good condition. For the actual storage, I'm thinking we just do 9 chests in a waterfall here. Or actually, maybe I don't want a waterfall. We move this further back, we've got more room to stand in here. So we can make a pedestal here for all 9 of our chests. Boom, boom, boom. And then we just run a bunch of hoppers into them. And we can trim the end off here too. And since the only thing that should wind up in there is sugarcane, we don't need to put a item filter or anything on. So that is pretty much all we need to do. So we'll just put a floor up here with half slabs, that way nothing spawns. And now we just have to decorate this room up a little bit. There we go, that's a pretty sleek design. Didn't use nearly as much quartz as I thought I would in the design, but never hurts to have a bit of extra. And I think that means that this build here is done. It is a fully functional sugarcane farm. And if we throw in the stuff that we got while we were building, we've actually got a good amount already. So I'm going to call this a big success. But now that we got the street view going on here, I do want to add a little bit more detail to this wall and that wall. Nothing big, I was just thinking a couple windows and some shutters like we did on the other side. Put another one here, and a couple on the top floor here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We just need some glass panes, some jungle trapdoors, and some bamboo. And we can finish up the design. There we go, that's much nicer. And it may not be pretty, but we're going to have to do some torch spam around here for now, because all of our doors are open concept. So anyone can walk in off the street and, you know, destroy everything. Been there, done that, don't want to do it again. But I think our build is now complete. So let's go back a little ways, and that is starting to look pretty sick. I was worried about the perspective from back here, but I think it works really nicely. A good portion of the red building is blocked by this one, and that is exactly what I want. And as we add more to this town, more buildings are going to peek over the tops of other buildings. And it'll look like we're building up a mountainside or a cliffside. Now, there is still a piece that is very clearly unfinished. But since we're going to be adding more to this town from here, I think we'll leave it for now. Plus, it'll get a lot easier to do that once we've connected back up to Arcadia, which I think is next up here, because if we look at our objective board, we've built a starter house, we've geared ourselves up with enchanted diamonds, and we've made a fully functional auto farm, which is working very nicely. The only thing left to do is connect ourselves back up to civilization. I ran into a wall. It's not as easy as it looks running an F5 all the time, but we do it for the content. Alright, so I had to do a little bit of diving through the screenshots folder, but I did find the coordinates of my Nether Hub. Now, I don't have the exact coordinates that we need to dig to, so this is going to be a little difficult. So we're probably going to have to dig this tunnel out a couple times, so we'll start with a 1x2 tunnel just to get there. But surprisingly, we're almost at the right Y level. It's on Y level 78 by my calculations, which may or may not be correct. I don't know. I did it as a rough estimate based off of where the screenshot was taken. But we are heading to negative 12,109, so we're going this way quite a bit. Oh good, there's a fortress here. We should probably make this tunnel safe at least. It's a long way back and forth, so we don't want to perish during the travel. And one thing's for sure, we're definitely going to have to do a lot of Nether Hub work in the future here, but that is a really good stream task. But we're not trying to make a permanent tunnel right now. Right now, we're just trying to get to the Nether Hub. Huh, well, that's an abyss. I wonder if maybe we turn here and start heading towards the other coordinate that we need. So along this axis, we need 109. We're almost at X0. Ah, dang it. Alrighty, we turn again. Let's see how many turns it takes for us to actually get to the Nether Hub. No. Unfortunately, I don't think I have much of a choice but to pillar across this. So I may want to go get something a little stronger than netherrack, because that's a nether waste, which means ghasts. Alright, we are back with the cobbled deep slate, and I'm nervous because I already hear a ghast. So we will see how this goes. We're going to try and play this extremely safe here, because I really don't want to plunge into the lava with all of my stuff. Alright, I feel a little safer now that we're over solid land again. I'm thinking we're going to do a little bit of cross-country here. And don't worry, there is a madness to my method. There we go, our first signs of civilization. It's not exactly safe passage, but it's something. Now I've just got to figure out how I want to do this. Honestly, I'm kind of regretting not going through the roof of the Nether right now. And when I say the roof of the Nether, I don't mean on top of the bedrock. I just mean close to the bedrock so that I could at least mine the entire way. You know, maybe it's not too late. All right, I've made a decision. I'm going into the roof. Let's go with maybe around here. And like I said, there is a madness to my method, so don't worry. All will become clear soon. We simply just need to get to the Nether Hub. Alright, this height should be good. Let's see if we can get to our chords. Alrighty, here we are at our X coordinate, so we now turn this way and head towards our Y chord. Nope, not Y, Z. And here we are. So if we go down from here, we should be in the Nether Hub. Yep, there it is. Now I just need a safe way down into the Nether Hub. Well, it's not pretty, but it'll work. And here we are, back home in civilization. But now the real task starts. The whole reason that I didn't want to start the tunnel back at the other portal is because I didn't know where it was supposed to connect up in the hub. Obviously, we got our north, south, east, and west tunnels. I probably could have done the math to figure out which tunnel it was going to go to, but I didn't know exactly the coordinates of those tunnels. And these guys are supposed to run straight and then branch off to different destinations. So I didn't want a wonky tunnel. But like I said, this is where the real task begins because we got to make a tunnel all the way to the new area. It doesn't have to be massive. I'll settle for 3x3 because after today we'll have access to our elytra again, so I want to be able to just fly back and forth. But I have a feeling we're going to be going over a lot of areas like this based on what I saw, so I don't think this is going to be a fun task. Now here's the interesting question. Technically, I have connected my new area up to the Nether Hub, so I could start using my resources and tools from Arcadia. But it's a real garbage connection, so it feels a little cheaty. So as painful as it is, I think what I'm going to say is until the outro of this episode, I will not be using any of my stuff from Arcadia, which means we may burn through a diamond pick or two making this tunnel. But we did set a goal, so we'll see it through. Alright, we're in the final leg of the race here. We have entered the Basalt Delta, and as long as I don't pour a bunch of lava on my head in the next 100 blocks here, we should be home free. Hey, there we go. We found the portal. Now let's pop through and get any extra obsidian we have, plus our flint and steel. Alright, apparently we have no extra obsidian, so we'll just take the flint and steel. But that's fine. With the corners, we can still make a bigger portal. There we go. We can repurpose this into a 3x3 and still have 2 to spare. And if we light this up, it should bring us back to our base. Perfect. You know, it wasn't nearly as much digging as I thought it would be. It was mostly making cobblestone bridges, so I completely totaled my fortune pickaxe here. But that is alright, because we have officially completed all 4 of our tasks. We've made ourselves a starter house in our new area. We have fully enchanted diamond gear and tools. We made a fully functional auto sugarcane farm, and it's a very long run. And it's not exactly a safe run either. Yep, very not safe. But we are officially connected up to our Nether Hub. So, you know what that means. We are officially allowed to return home. Hello Arcadia, it has been too long. And since all of our tasks are now complete, we can grab all of our gear again. So this gear that we made at our second base here will become our backup gear now. But now, we're back at full power. We have our sneaky pants back. And most importantly, we can fly. And we can fly without worry now too, because we have a reliable source of sugarcane. It's a good feeling, that's for sure. Well guys, since we're all connected up, I don't see any harm now in having an ender chest at the new base. And with access to all of my gear and facilities now, we're going to be able to do some cool stuff in this village. But that is about all we got time for today. Between episodes here, I'm going to be doing a bunch of work on the Nether Hub and Nether tunnels, so make sure to tune into the streams if you want to catch that. We always go live on both YouTube and Twitch, so you can watch on either platform. But anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.